This is the Sports Hit List by the fans for the fans.
I haven't checked the weather yet, so I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. I'm hoping we don't get the type of weather we got last week because obviously we saw the weather definitely impacted those games. Now, I'm somebody who is of the mindset that weather is weather when it comes to NFL, when it comes to football, especially those colder games in the snow. You want to see the hard hitting. You want to see more of that ball being ran, hitting the ground. We got two teams that are really good within the running game. So it would bode well for them nonetheless, right? With that said, I still want to be able to see all of the talents out there on the field, be able to have access to all of their talent, right? Specifically in the passing game, the wide receivers and whatnot. Let's look on the Eagles side first. This is a team that, some can say got by last week, just barely getting by an LA Rams team. Thank God they had Saquon back there, because he literally put that team on his back and had to carry them to that victory. We're still seeing a very lackluster display on the passing side of the offense. We're still not getting guys like AJ Brown involved. The Devontae Smith here and there. It still looks to be that Dallas Goedert is the only one that can really do anything. You know what I mean? So the Eagles cannot win a Super Bowl if that passing game is on point, in my opinion, because you can only have Saquon carry you but so far, So I'm really looking to see if and when that passing game really comes to life again for the Eagles. On the flip side, again, we talk about that weather, right? I hope we don't get one of these cold, snowy games so that Jaden Daniels can do what he can do on the other side of the ball. Sure, we know he's special when he's running the ball. He makes great decisions. He knows when to run and when not to run. He slides good and whatnot. But with that said, that passing game is very dynamic, and that really, really helps him to be able to do what he's able to do in the running game. So we're not going to be able to get that team to be one-dimensional. Philly, we've seen, can win if they do have to be one-dimensional and only rely on Saquon. I'm not 100% sure that we could watch this Washington team win if they do have to be one-dimensional, and it has to be Jaden Daniel with his legs along with Robinson and Eckler in the backfield, right? We know McLaurin could get off. We've seen Dyami Brown pop off here in the past couple of weeks out of nowhere. Shout out to him on my taxi squad in 2 dynasty leagues. Looking forward to that next year. You know what I'm saying? So with all that said and done, we know what the defenses are going to bring. That Philly defense, we saw them really turn it up. I can't put all of the success on Saquon without mentioning how great that Philly defense was when they needed them. That's the type of production they're going to need again, especially if that pass game is not there to help support Saquon more. With that said, it's really tough based off of what I've seen so far in these first 2 rounds to not like the Washington Commanders' chances of going to a Super Bowl. So me personally, they have the better playing quarterback. I'm not going to sit here and say he's better overall than Jalen Hurts. He may be, you know what I mean? I don't know that for sure yet, but he is absolutely playing better right now. I'm going to ride with the quarterback that's looking better, the offense that's looking more cohesive and more balanced. And hopefully there is no snow, even if it's cold. It's not snow that's going to really hamper that passing game. And the Commanders are going to be able to pull this off for the NFC.
Well, looking at the weather, it seems like snow probability 4%. It says a high of 40, thick cloud in the morning, then intervals of cloud and sunshine in the afternoon. This is in Philly. A real feel high of 31 degrees, shade high 29 degrees. So
and the good thing is the good thing when it comes to the weather, right? Even if it does end up being what we saw, if it's something like we saw last week, you're not dealing with a team that has to travel across country from the sunny state of California and deal with that.
Yeah.
You're dealing with a team that's coming from right down the road, who knows a little something about cold weather as well. So we won't have as much of a difference there. So that's a good thing for Washington, but I still would prefer that they have some nice, clear weather situations so that they can excel.
So you're going Commanders. There we go.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the Commanders, man. Crazy.
Paul, Paul, I know Paul's gonna give us the spread first, and then he's gonna give us his breakdown.
well, here's the thing, right? As you look at this game, in my opinion, this is a round 3, which we don't get a chance to see a lot in the NFL. I think 6 points is too high. So for all my spreaders out there, Pause. Right? 6 points is a lot, right?
You sound nervous. That's not the confidence Paul I've known.
No, baby, I'm getting over the flu. This ain't nerves,
Oh,
baby.
all right,
I'm coming.
Feel better,
Flu
bro. That's
game
what I'm saying.
Paul
I'm like,
right here, all right?
you don't sound like
knocking off the
yourself.
rust.
Right? So here's what I see. I see there's the biggest nugget in this game is the last matchup these two teams had. Now, I know Kenny Pickett started, but the reality is Philly had 33 points on the scoreboard and got ran down and slapped in the back of the head and got the knife gut wrenching them for a game winner in the last few seconds against Jaden Daniels. I'm here to tell you, mentally, those things don't go away. And if you compound that with how well Daniels has played the last 2 months of the season, obviously we've seen him Saturday night destroy the favorites out of the NFC. Those two things combined says, again, we're playing with house money, and this is a team we know really well. And in both of those matchups, Saquon had monster days. I mean, two of his better games all season came against the Commanders, 150 on the ground both times, multiple TDs. Same thing I told y'all last week, I'm going to say again today. If you can put points on the board early, you force Philly's hand, okay? The Rams didn't do that last week, so they was able to sit down and play comfortable. And honestly, as big as the day Saquon had, 2 long runs, right? Mm-hmm. Like, the Rams actually did a pretty decent job defending him in the box. 2 mega long runs that changed the complex of that football game. If the Commanders can score early, Saquon's not getting 30 carries, and if you can contain them from 60, 70-yard home runs, you've got a real shot. I'm going with the Eagles in this one, and the close one. I'm lying. Give me the Commanders, B. I don't trust no Jalen Hurts.
There seems to be some disrespect again, bro.
100 passing yards,
listen,
bro.
I called you out last week. You said that that the Rams were going to be able to contain Saquon, and they did.
You know what they did? They until that 80-yard touchdown run.
Right. But again, Saquon's been sensational, possibly MVP candidate, and we discussed it. So I understand the quarterback situation.
Right. I upgraded my analogy for Saquon midway through that game on Sunday when I said, I originally said Saquon the Eagles was like when Anthony Davis showed up to the Lakers. And then after Sunday, I said, nah, bro, this is like LeBron in the Heat, right? Like, well, my man pulled up and he's better than box office, right? Like, we had Saquon at the top of the MVP ballots around week 13 and week 14. I know Rick did for sure. So, when you talk about putting a team on your back, you very rarely see it in NFL history. It normally only happens at the quarterback position. For Saquon to be doing what he's doing and doing it how he's doing it is crazy.
Right.
Especially considering a division rival and all that, right? It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, but then when you say that, it's kind of like, well, Saquon's playing like at a highly level, but I'm going to go with the Commanders anyway. So.
I have to, because situational football matters. I've seen this all in all. Why did the Ravens lose? I know they're going to say because of Mark Andrews. Can anybody explain to me why they stopped giving Derrick Henry the football? The man had 60 yards in the third quarter and ran them back into the game. Didn't touch the ball in the fourth quarter. 6'4", 250-pound locomotive, and I'm throwing a flat route to Mark Andrews, a guy that's been dropping passes for years. Get that shit to Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, in the NFL, the running back needs to be able to get touches to be productive, right? That's unlike college football where you get hit home runs. On NFL, you need multiple touches and multiple looks and setups to be able to be successful on the ground. And if the Commanders come out, win the toss and score some points, get a stop, now you're looking at a 14-3 game that asking Jalen Hurts to do something he hasn't done all year, right? We're talking about a guy that hasn't hit 3K passing, doesn't even have 20 touchdown passes. In the last few weeks post-concussion, looks like a JV quarterback on a team that runs a wing T offense, right? The guy literally can't throw the ball down the field outside of, to Rick's point, the tight end position. So to me, that's a concern. We know Washington can score, bro. Like, they can score against anybody, and they're going to keep scoring. And their best player touches the ball every single play of the game, similar to Lamar Jackson. So give me the upset. I'm going Commanders. They're definitely going to cover at +6, but I'm going Commanders to win this game and continue the craziest run of a rookie quarterback in the history of the sport. Yeah. which is crazy for a rookie season.
Another main event, Chiefs versus the Bills. And I think from what I've been seeing, it seems like the entire nation is Team Bills to pull off the upset. It would be unthinkable. But what I've been seeing, it seems like everyone is against the Chiefs here. Even Deb is on those. She's like, the Chiefs got to lose, right? And she's like, the Bills for the state of New York. Rick, I'm gonna start with you. What's the vibe coming out of the Etienne household? I mean, he's been here before. He was here in 2021. How's the brother feeling? Speak on your brother's behalf. Is he nervous? How's he feeling? What's the vibes?
You already know there's a sense of those nerves that, you try not to show. It's like, we got it this time. We got it this time. You know what I mean? So, this is the one. This is the one. That's how they feel. That is literally how Bills Mafia feels. Like, this is the one. And a couple of weeks ago, I remember saying, and we talked about it. Oh, is this the last chance? It's not to say it's the last chance and the window's going to close, but there's a sense of urgency. When you get to a point where, you'll have to step back. If you lose this game here, you really have to step back and is it even possible for us to beat this team? You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna get to a point where you have to question, like, is it possible? Can we do it? Because here's the thing you got to remember, right? When you look at greatness, a lot of times people look at greatness and only look on the great part of it, right? On the positive part of it, and you forget all of the other things that greatness kind of bleeds into. It's a domino effect, right? So when you've got Michael Jordan, you've also got Karl Malone and Charles Barkley. You know what I mean? When you've got Tom Brady, you also got Phillip Rivers, and even Peyton Manning's for a certain extent, right? So we are in a situation right now where we've got this Pat Mahomes guy, and unfortunately, there's gonna be Josh Allen's and Lamar Jackson's, man. It's impossible for me.
Well, again, as we've seen, Tom Brady got beat. Jordan had to get over the hump, over the Pistons, and he went like years and years until. So this is how I see the Bills. Like, the Bills are like the Bulls.
We got Jason Tatum, right?
They get over the hump, right? Like, even Shaq had to lose to Dream to get over the hump, right? So is that the situation with the Bills? The Bills have been here before they lost. Now, can they get over the hump?
So here's the thing that's a little different in this situation, right? The big bad wolf, he started on the hump.
Yeah.
He's played in an AFC Conference Championship game every single year he's been a starter. You know what I mean? There was no hump for that. Like, he started right at the top. So trying to get over that. And one of the things I mentioned a couple of weeks ago was saying how the Bills were actually, this season for me, were looking like a Kansas City Chiefs team in the sense that, outside of the quarterback, you can't really pinpoint on anybody else in that offense that is like, yeah, that's the guy also. They're doing it with whatever they've got. They've making it work, and they know the guy under center is going to be the catalyst and is going to push them through. That's kind of like been the model for the Bills this year, you know what I'm saying? And then you even go back to this past weekend, continuing to win games that you would think they would lose. That was a Buffalo Bills winnable game last week. As soon as that game started and as it progressed, we're all watching it and we're like, this is the type of game Buffalo wants to play because that's the type of game they know they could win. Keep it close. Josh doesn't have to throw it. When he needs to, he'll run it and he'll get the touchdowns that we need. The weather's going to be disgusting. Let's hope the other team makes more mistakes than we do, and our crowd is going to be in it to help us push it over just that little bit extra that we need. That is the Bills formula, especially when they're home. You can't take that to Kansas City with you. You know what I mean? That's not going to Kansas City with you. So is Josh Allen going to throw for more than, what was it, like 100-something yards, 137 yards or something like that, if I'm not mistaken? Or are we going to see a whole bunch of mistakes from the Kansas City Chiefs like we did from the Ravens? Yeah, sure, maybe. But if I'm a betting man, I'm going to say no. So I told y'all after the Super Bowl last year, all the way up, every single Chiefs game I've picked so far, I'm going to be a man of my word. Until they prove otherwise, I don't think anybody could beat this team, man. It's not going to happen. So I'm taking the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl up against the Commanders.
Listen, I'll say this. Again, history has shown us that they can beat them. They've been beaten twice. They got beat by the great Tom Brady, and they got beat by Joe Burrow. I'm just giving you the facts. They've been beat before. It is what it
They
is.
have.
Right? And you're
They
laughing. They've
have,
been beat
but
before, so
They're
I can't
not
sit here
playing
and say
Tom
someone
Brady.
can't
They're
beat
not playing Joe Burrow.
The Chiefs are not only going to win this game, I don't see this game being as close as the experts are predicting. The experts are predicting a pick'em game, a spread of 2 points as late as yesterday, a point, right? Which is crazy to me personally, right? Just as seeing what I see, home game for the Chiefs, undefeated at home. You're talking about a Bills team on the road who is scoring 8 points a game less on the road than they do at home. They have to travel to Chiefs Kingdom in a night game and beat number 15, which we've never even seen it happen before in Chiefs Kingdom, except that one time Tom Brady beat him with Edelman in overtime, right? Interception got called back, yada, yada, yada. So I say that to say this. The last time these two teams played, you had a Chiefs team without their kicker, right, which is the best kicker in pro football, Harrison Butker. It forced the Chiefs to do two different fourth down attempts they probably wouldn't normally go for, but they had a waiver wire kicker that they had out there in Spencer Strader. Shout out to Strader. He held it down, right? And then Patrick Mahomes played a game where he didn't run the ball one time, right, which we know doesn't happen in the playoffs with Patrick Mahomes, and he threw two stupid interceptions early and late in that game. The Chiefs, I don't think Mahomes even thrown an interception since that game, right? I could be wrong, but I'm saying all that to say this. In order to beat the Chiefs, which we've never seen happen in recent memory, you not only need to be perfect, but you've got to force them to make a bunch of mistakes. And the two of those things that happen at the same time are very rare. Me and Jarv, shout out to Jarv from the Gray Area, the Rap Round Table, we were talking about this in the chat about why we love the Chiefs. There's very few football teams we've seen execute every facet of a football game, from Spags with the defensive calls to the execution from the punter, nailing it inside the 10, from the gunners making sure they have gap control, from the safeties making sure they're not getting beat deep. The Chiefs literally are focused on every single component of the football game. And when the chips all come down to it, the ball's going to be in the hands of the greatest quarterback of all time. I'm here to tell you, Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback of all time. And the chips are going to be in his hand, and he's the one rolling the dice. And I'm finna take number 15 every single day of the week and twice on Sundays. So give me the Chiefs by a touchdown. I don't care if they win by a touchdown or not, but that's how confident I'm feeling in the Chiefs three-peat. And I've said this before the season ended. The greatest threat to the Chiefs three-peat is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Thanks for watching the Sports Hit List. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. In fact, do it now.